G'day everybody. Alibar Jones here, leader and founder of the EarthGuard Astral Projection Group. And today I'm coming a little bit out of left field because that's not like me at all, and talking about subatomic technologies. Now, the two big ones that we know about are nuclear and hadron colliders. Both of these technologies use subatoms or cracking atoms in half, splitting the grand atom. And what we found out is that, strangely enough, this is bad for Earth. How, you might ask? Well, we've been astral projecting around and we're looking at the sites where, oh, sorry, Gaia has brought our attention to the sites where nuclear weapons have been repeatedly detonated. These are the test sites where, where they have to fire off 100 bombs to figure out what one of them does. They're analyzing the physics of it over and over and over again. It looks incredibly destructive, but it's not about the physics after the first five, because after the first five, you kind of got it figured out. If you haven't got it sussed out by them, you never really will. So something has been motivating them to keep repeatedly detonating the same on the same locations. And it goes back to an old video about the Hadron Collider. This is from the video, The Absolute Solution to All of Earth's Problems. And it talks about us discovering a rip in space-time, and it's the identical energy with the CERN facility on the Swiss-French border. And when we go back to that old video, this rip in space-time is being opened, accelerated, and expanded through the use of the Hadron Collider. They're ripping holes in the base fabric of the universe. So, before you build a diorama, you have to have a flat space at the bottom. If you want to build a building, you need a slab of concrete, right? And that's what this is. That's what they're attacking. They're trying to punch through that. And so when you see an atomic detonation, should I say a subatomic detonation, it's like, imagine somebody's hits the concrete with a hammer, right? You're going to leave a little bit of damage. So you hit it again, and you hit it again, and you hit it again, and you start creating serious damage into the fabric of space-time, into that foundation that everything else is built on. And so they've been keeping doing it. And with the nuclear detonations, the holes that they eventually created were not really that usable by the dark side. But I think the development of CERN, the development of Hadron Collider technology, is the actual reason that they're not obsessed with nukes anymore, because they have something better. They have something that rips bigger holes in space-time easier, and there is a progression in the technology from nuclear weapons and nuclear detonations, which is a subatomic detonation, which is an atom-splitting detonation, to a hadron collider, which is the next step in that research. So, they gave up using nukes. They're not really talked about anymore because they're obsolete. They're nowhere near as effective at ripping holes in space-time as the Hadron Collider is. So, strangely enough, it's been given to our group to go around and patch up all of those holes. And our cadets are out there repairing the damage that has been done by nuclear weapons. And as a larger group, we're flying around and closing rips in space-time caused by hadron colliders. And it seems to be all the rage with big governments to have, everybody's got to have their own hadron collider, because you've got to keep up with the Joneses technologically. You don't want to be left behind in the hadron collider race. So you don't want to create a hadron collider gap. So all the big boys have got it. We think that there are 14 on the planet at the moment, which is hideous and flabbergasting. And, the world will be a better place without them. It's a technological edge that we don't want to engage in because there's no friendlies on the other side of space-time. The fabric of space-time, I did a video about it. There is a shell around the Earth, around creation. Everything that Source has created, it's created an eggshell around it. And those penetrations through space-time open the doors to what's exterior to our creation. All of the universe, everything we know, it actually has Mongolians at the gates, I might say. Mongolians harassing the borders, which they call chaos, and they're using these punctures in space-time to charge through into our reality, into source. It's kind of like a predator knocking a little hole in an egg and then going in there and feasting on the goodies inside. And that's demon kind. That's everything I've talked about is coming through these rips in space-time. So now that we're not fighting the ghoulies, or we're fighting the leftovers, there's not much around. Now that we're fighting the leftovers, we're going and patching up all the holes where they come in. And we're having a really good time with it. But that's what nuclear technology is about. So, or should I say subatomic technology is about. It's a fundamentally dark side technology. And if I had my way, humanity would stop using it and burn all the research immediately. But, I'm not there yet. But we'll see. My love to you all. Bye for now. Oh, yeah, I've got a course coming up on June 9, which is about, bringing sanity to Earth. And that's a big call, isn't it? That's a big statement. So I'm teaching astral projection, which is a missing technology here. And our teams are using it to make the world a better place. And now that our primary objective of pushing demonkind off the Earth is completed, we're going to be doing things like working on ley lines and collective consciousness, figuring out remote viewing and figuring out who's in the inner Earth and what they're up to, figuring out which aliens are flying around the galaxy, which are our friends and which aren't, creating an embassy for them so we can really nail down who our friends are in this galaxy. We've got to fly around and repeat the process that we've done here on other planets because we don't like the darkness. We like Source a lot better. And that's the best thing that we can think of to do. And it's also a really good way for humanity to make friends. And that war in our galaxy is what I believe humanity was built for. And our world, and all worlds will be a richer place for the work that we do. So I think, but I'm talking a big talk. Why don't you come and do the first month of my course? If you like it, that's great. Come and learn how to astral project with me. If you don't like it, that's great. At least you found out. At least you looked into it and you figured out whether it was worth it or not, instead of leaving that question unanswered. Because as this group grows, our significance in Earth politics and in exopolitics is going to have its the pressure felt from us, and we're going to keep doing that. We're going to keep pushing that because we're fighting for the good side, and we might be the only ones. We might be not the only ones, but rare in that, and our group might be the most dedicated and effective around. But don't believe me, come and join in and see what happens. If you're enjoying these videos and you're outside the circle, imagine how much more fun it is inside the circle. Yeah. So may the force be with you all, and bye for now.